Welcome back to the online sessions on DCCN. So I hope you're all doing well and you might have written your exams in a nice manner. And we are meeting after a long time, after 1 month or so. And I hope that you have not forgotten the subject called DCCN, whatever that we discussed. So I don't think so that you will forget DCCN. Why? Because the DCCN is almost similar to the postal communication system. Those who remember the postal communication system, they can easily, understand the computer to computer communication, which is going to be called as DCCN for us. So only thing is, whatever communication that we are doing using the postal communication system will be done by a computer using the computer networks. So that is what the entire scenario of the computer to computer communications. Okay. So earlier we discussed in a very simple manner that first unit we discussed about the various layers of the data communication protocols known as network layered architecture. So in the network layered architecture, we discussed about 7 layers in the network. The first one we discussed as a application layer, presentation layer, then session layer. Then after session layer, we discussed about the transport layer, data link, transport layer, network layer, data link layer. So all these are the various layers that we discussed in the first unit. So what is the necessity of all these layers? Each and every layer is going to perform a specialized functionality of its own kind. So that means here the one layer, each and every layer is going to be called as independent entities, and all these entities are normally going to support the data communication system. Okay, so that means here, say for example, this point also we have discussed. A simple concept is that, say I want to transmit a file from one computer to another computer. So imagine that that file has been created by using a Microsoft Word. So imagine that we have created a Microsoft Word, and in that we have prepared one document, and that this document I want to send it to another computer on the network. So if this is the task, then how do we normally going to transfer this this file which has been developed by using Microsoft Word? By using these 7 layers of a network layer architecture, of a protocol layer architecture, we are going to transmit our file onto the network. So in that, the first one is going to be called as a application layer. So using the application layer, we normally going to figure out what application that you wanted to use to transmit a file from one computer to another computer. So if it is only the point of transferring a simple file, then we are going to use the application known as file transfer protocol. That means file transfer protocol is normally used to transfer a static file from one computer to another computer. So using a FTP protocol, which is going to be a part in the application layer. In application layer, we're going to have so many types of protocols embedded in it, called as file transfer protocols, email applications called as SMTP applications, simple mail transfer protocol applications, network based applications. Say if at all you want to transmit a network based signal, a control signal or a handshaking signal, that can be addressed by using the network management protocols. So like that DNS service applications, it is all based on the type of the application that you're dealing with. Accordingly, that protocol will simply come into picture. Using that protocol, whatever the application that has been designed or developed by the user will be uh, simply transmitted via that application protocol. Say for example, Microsoft Word I want to transmit. So this Microsoft Word is simply being processed, is simply going to get processed by the FTP protocol. The FTP protocol is simply going to transfer this version of the FTP protocol which contains the data as the Microsoft Word packet, Microsoft Word data is simply given it to the presentation layer. Then what the presentation layer will do, the presentation layer will simply strip off all the information related to the application that we are dealing with. So for example, we're dealing with the MS Word. Say MS Word, imagine that MS Word file has been created by using MS Office 2003 version. So MS Office 2003 version file can be opened only by a MS Word 2003 and higher versions, upper higher grade versions. See, for example, the destination computer is having a MS 1997 version. It really cannot open this particular 2003 version of the MS Word. So then only that means what, the receiver is going to get a error message that the file format cannot be opened by this particular computer. Why? Because your computer is having a MS Office to 1997 version, but not 2003 version. Therefore, it really cannot open. If the destination computer is having 2010 model, then definitely that particular MS Word, MS Office can simply open this particular file. Why? Because it is going to be a higher version of what the file has been created. So that means what, here the source computer is going to have is going to work out with all the 7 layers, and destination computer is also going to work out with all the 7 layers. And all these 7 layers are normally going to get resided in the operating system. So that means what, whenever we buy any operating system, the network, the uh, networking based protocols are also going to get embedded in that particular operating system. That means the operating system that you are dealing with should simply support the communication protocols. That means, say for example, if you're using Microsoft Office, Microsoft Windows 7 Ultimate or Windows 10 operating systems. That means what, they are very well versed in supporting the data communication protocols. So therefore, we are simply using that particular kind of operating systems. So on desktop, Microsoft is going to be the leader on the desktop applications. So all the Microsoft MS, all the Microsoft Windows operating systems are going to support these network-based applications. That means you have to simply install the MS Word, you should simply involve the Microsoft operating system of any version. Then automatically you're normally going to get the protocols of all the 7 layers embedded in your computer. So that here, what is that which is happening inside that protocols, we are simply dealing here. So in between the network, we're going to have various types of bridges, routers, gateways, firewalls, many things are there. So all of them are simply being programmed in our source computer and simply been understood in the destination computers as well. So that means what, here we are simply dealing with we're simply dealing with the processes that we do in the postal communication system when we really do it by using a computer system. So that is why we are simply dealing with all these 7 layers. Well, so now here we are transmitting, say for example, we are transmitting the Microsoft Word file from source computer to the destination computer. In that, what we discussed earlier, we discussed that the presentation layer is going to simply strip off all the data related to the exact file. So it simply stores the data, simply stores the application that the file has been created. Say the application is MS Office MS Office, say imagine 2003. That is what the data will be simply written over there. And the operating system on which this particular file has been created, say Microsoft Windows 7 Ultimate is the application which we have developed this particular thing, that will be stored. And what is the bit size of this particular file, 32-bit, 64-bit, what is the bit size, that will be simply stored. And how much is the data, what is the length of the data in terms of kilobytes, megabytes, that will be simply stored. And then finally payload, exact data, whatever data that you have, that the descriptive data that you have given, that we have written on the file, that will be simply stored. And along with that, it is normally going to have the flag bits. Along with that, it is going to have the checksum bits to figure out whether the data transmitted correctly or not at the destination. So therefore, we normally going to have the error correction, error detection. Check for error to support error correction detection methods. We normally going to have the various frames. So all this data will be simply going to get added at each and every layer. So at first layer, application layer, it is understood that by using which protocol this data can be transmitted. So if it is if it is going to be a simple file, so simple file can be transmitted by using a FTP protocol. So the application layer is going to have is going to get implemented with FTP protocol by the OS itself. We are not going to deal anything with that. The user of the computer don't even know what is happening at the background, but so much things are happening at the background without the involvement of the user, whoever is using the computer. Only thing is that he has to connect to the internet. That's all. Once he is connected to the internet, many things are happening at the background. We really don't know what many things are simply happening at the background. So these things we are dealing here in the data communications. Well, so the FTP protocol is normally being used to transfer that file. So it uses that particular protocol at the application layer. Then that is given to the presentation layer. Presentation layer will simply figure out the details such as the operating system on which this particular file has been created, the bit size of the data that is there, and the actual data which is there actually, and the source address, destination address. So all these things, okay, are normally given into the presentation layer. So presentation layer contains the data which is required for presenting the data. That means presenting data means what? Operating system details, bit size, memory size, okay, bit size, memory size, and actual data, and application on which we have developed this particular file, such as Microsoft Office Word document. So all that information is simply returned, simply been added by the presentation layer. After that, this is given to the session layer. Session layer is normally used to keep track of the communication between the source and the destination. So if the point of transferring data is only one way or a simplex mode of communication, there is no point of going with the session layer. So session layer is simply going to dump whatever data which has come from presentation layer into the transport layer. Then transport layer has to figure out how the data has to be transported from source to the destination computer. That means what type of network has to be used, what type of communication technology has to be used, whether it is going to be a wireless communication or a wide communication, that is decided by the transport layer. So based on that, it is going to have UDP communication, you're going to have the TCP kind of communication, something like connection oriented, connectionless, and whether the packets has to be transmitted using connectionless protocol or connection protocol, that is decided by the transport layer kind of a protocol. Then that information is given to the network layer. Network layer has to figure out the route that will be taken for a protocol to transmit. See, these many things are happening at the background. So network layer is normally going to figure out what is going to be the route that has to be taken by a packet or a data to be transmitted from source computer to the destination computer. That information is added by the network layer, such as source address, source computer address, destination address, subnetwork address, main network address. Okay, all this data is added to the data which is coming from the transport layer. Then after this, that information is given to the data link layer. Data link layer is normally going to support the data streams. That means based on the speed of the computer, source computer and destination computers, and the network that you are connected, based on the speed of network. See, basically our source computer is connected to the network, internal network immediate to the source computer. So it simply figures out based on the speed of the network connected to the source computer and speed of the source computer. Accordingly, it is normally going to convert the data coming from network layer into small chunks of data, so that it can be transmitted comfortably with the available resources of the network, and that is simply been converted, and the data is simply added by the data link layer, which normally deals with the end-to-end communication with data packets known as frames. So this data is given to the physical layer. What the physical layer will do simply, physical layer is simply going to figure out how this information will be transmitted via the medium available, via the media available. If the media is going to be a wireless media, this data has to be given to the antenna, transmitting antenna, which radiates this signal as a EM wave. If the data to be transmitted using a wide medium, then another kind of a um, 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 protocols has to be implemented in the case of the transport, in the case of the physical layer. That means you should implement some Manchester coding, BPSK, PSK type of coding methods. So using these coding methods, we normally going to transmit the data. That means what, it depends on the line coding techniques, okay, channel coding techniques. So all these techniques are simply implemented over here so that the data is simply being transmitted very effectively. And exactly reverse process is going to happen at the destination computer. The data given, the what data is placed onto the computer network, the data coming from physical layer, the source computer, is simply placed onto the physical network, and these data packets are transmitted via various routes to the destination. Now what the destination computer will do, the first guy that will be there in the destination computer, the computer is going to be the physical layer, of course. That is, we are coming in a reverse manner now. So physical layer first of all reads this data. It simply handovers this data understood by the physical layer to the upper layer called data link layer. Data link layer is going to strip off the data and takes only the data related to the data link layer, and that is, the data is given to the network layer. Network layer is going to strip off the data which is there for the network layer only. Then that data is given to the transport layer. Transport layer will strip off its own data, understands what it is coming exactly, what protocols has been designed, by using which protocol, by using which technology the data has been transmitted, understands that. Then after that, the transport layer is given to session layer. If at all it is going to be a session kind of information to be there, session kind of connection to be made, it makes a session connection between source and destination computer. Then that information is given to the presentation layer. Presentation layer strips off its own data. That means presentation layer is going to bother about how the data has to be presented on the available resources at the destination. That is what the point of discussion here. That means here, if you see, observe carefully, as the technology changes, as the network changes, the protocol programming is also going to change definitely. There lies the part of an engineer now. That means being an engineer, you have to write programs at various layers in the data communications, because every day some new technology is coming into the market, some different types of networks are coming into the market. So that means your programming should really support to the upcoming necessities. It should support the upcoming service, the functionalities. It should implement. You should implement the upcoming functionalities in your protocols at various layers. You have to write the programs. So there comes the life of an engineer there, like us. So being engineers, you have to write a program for that after you understand about the previous protocols, the upcoming requirements. By keeping all this in view, you have to write a effective program at the protocol layers. So you should design the protocols based on the various requirements. That is what the major part that an engineer has to do. That means the engineer is always going to have a life. If a man is going to exist in this planet, engineer definitely going to have life. The only thing is that the engineer has to upgrade his skills on that particular topic on which he is simply working. So if he works in data communications, he should keep on upgrade his skills in the data communications, because many advancements will be coming in the days to come. So if you're going to be there in computer field, like in software field, he has to upgrade. If you don't upgrade, you will be called as outdated in general. So therefore you have to upgrade, obviously. So that means what, it is definitely going to be engineering is definitely going to be a challenging field as far as the applications are concerned. So the applications are always going to be there for future generations, not for current generation. Nobody will write a program for already that we already did something earlier. Already it is there. So whatever it is going to come for future, those programs you will be writing in the industries, you will be writing in the companies. So therefore, for that you should know all these basics. So something like, if you know all the basic fundamentals, you can think beyond than that, and you can think about requirement of the client. Then based on that requirements, you normally going to write the programming for that particular, to support that particular protocols. You design your own protocols. So that means what, in data communications the entire story lies in designing the protocols at various layers. So this is what the ultimate conclusion here, as far as the data link, as far as the data communication is simply considered here. So therefore the functionality of each and every layer is very, very important for all of us. Okay, so that is the reason why we are discussing these concepts at a length like this. Okay, so I think you understand now the entire story of transferring a file from source computer to the destination computer. So if it is a simple file, we use a FTP protocol to transfer the file. To transfer that file between source and destination computer via a computer network, we use this 7 layers of OSI model. So the OSI model layers are going to be known as the reference layers. So therefore it is called as a reference model. Reference model need not be a practical model. Practically, when you go and see, you are not going to see these protocols in sequence. You simply going to see the protocols, one protocol merging with another protocol. You really cannot figure out that this particular data is coming out from this particular OSI layer. Okay, when you go to TCP/IP protocol, TCP/IP protocol is simply going to contains only 4 layers or 5 layers. That's it. So, but here it is going to be, OSI model is going to be, 7 layers protocol. So like that, the layers which we are going to use in the data communications are going to change from one type of application to another type of application. But in general, what we can say is that these 7 are going to be the basic layers which are responsible for data communications. That means it is based on the application, we normally going to write the protocols. So for example, if you don't require session layer at all, then what is that you're going to have? You're normally going to skip that session layer. So for example, you don't require the presentation layer at all. The source and destination computers, imagine that they are going to be peers. Peers means what? Both of them are going to be same, working at same speed, working with same resources. They are simply alike, except their physical form. Physically they are there, but internally everything is same. Since internally everything is same, they are simply called as a peer-to-peer communication, peer networks, peer computers. So since they are called peer computers, so they simply act uh, same with respect to each other. So in that scenario, whenever the source and destination computer knows about the applications, then it is simply going to be same presentations are going to be there at source as well as destination. So it need not bother about much on that particular aspect. Then the communication can be done very easily at source and destination. Something like a walkie-talkie, communication through a walkie-talkie. Something is what police people are normally going to have, the walkie-talkie. The police fellows residing at Amirpet is going to speak to the police fellow residing at Chandrayanagutta using a walkie-talkie. So this walkie-talkie is simply going to cover a distance of around 10 kilometers, and now both the walkie-talkies are going to support the similar kind of protocols. That means it doesn't require a presentation layer at all, because the presentation is going to be common for both the systems on the network. The network is going to be wireless network if it is going to be a walkie-talkie kind of communication. If the communication is going to be mobile communication, what is the media you're using? Wireless medium. That means here the framework of the protocol is going to change based on the type of the application you're dealing with. But whatsoever it is, these 7 layers are going to be the generic layers, something like known as generalized layers. But practically, you may skip some of the layers, you may mix up some of the layers with other layers in order to come up with your own protocols. So continuously it is going to be a requirement for a data communication engineer to keep on upgrade the protocols based on the requirement of the end users. The requirement of end users are increasing day by day. That is a challenging task now. So earlier we used to have 4G. First technology is going to be 1G. Then 4G has come. After 4G we got 3G network coming. 3G technology we got 4G. Now presently 5G also is simply we are listening 5G technology also. Then 6G will come, then 7G will come. It will go on. So until the human being is going to exist in this planet, nobody can stop this sophistications. Nobody can stop this programming part. But only thing is, the life of an engineer is going to become tougher and tougher as we simply go ahead in the days to come. So you need to have more knowledge than its predecessors, right? That means something like, because you'll be writing the program for future generations. Therefore, you should simply support whatever that has been supported by the predecessor softwares or technologies. So that is what the challenging kind of a task that we normally going to have in the technology field. Okay, anyway, so these are all the things which we have discussed earlier, and we discussed some part of network layer protocols, and we discussed about routing applications. What is a routing, responsibilities of network layer? Also, we discussed, and I suppose that you discussed about this responsibilities like internet working, addressing methods, routing, packetizing, and fragmenting. So all these are the various responsibilities of the network layer. So most importantly, what are the two important things which are normally going to have it here is, the three important points are going to be known as addressing is the first priority, because network layer primary task is to figure out the source address, destination address, and the immediate network address. It should decide about the route, what kind of route has to be taken. And internet working, that means what, it should support the internet working also. So these three are the primary important things which we're going to have. And least priority is going to be called as packetizing and fragmentations. The data coming out of network layer is called as a packet. So that is what important point of thing. Doing packetizing is known as fragmentation. That means we simply divide the whole chunk of data into fragments by understanding the immediate network that has been connected to the present device in the network. So this is a process which will be done continuously throughout the network, because one network may be at very high capacity, another network may be running at very low capacity. That means one network can process huge amounts of data. Their defragmentation will be done. Some of the networks cannot really process such a huge data, then fragmentation has to be done over there. So this network layer applications or protocols are going to change continuously when the data is getting passed from one network to the another network. This is what the major thing which you're going to have. Therefore, the next thing is going to be fragmentation, packetization, and these things. So these are the functionalities which are very, very important to implement the network layer protocols. Okay, so next layer, this is what the brief once again recap of what has been done until now. So from next class onwards, we just simply proceed further. We'll continue with whatever we left over from the previous topics. Thank you very much for today's session.